I'm fluent in speaking, like a white girl, apparently. And that's all the credentials needed for my society to label me a false impression of an identity, to judge me and my cultural authenticity. I open my mouth and there it is. No other statements needed, really. Already given the side-eye glances before a full sentence has even left my lips. My shade is notorious for trickery, you see, as I stand as a disgrace to my race for pronouncing my T's and clipping my words. Because society isn't tough enough without race or race hate over something as trivial as the way that I speak. But regardless, elongated sentences and an extensive use of vocabulary wrap themselves around my tongue. My delusional South London British-born tongue. My deceiving British-born part African tongue. My ethnically confused sounding, anti-Luther King sounding, pro-slavery sounding, colonization and depreciation sounding, loving the marginalization sounding, British-born part African tongue. Battle of the accents happening inside of my mouth. Told to euthanize my actual speech so I can blend into a culture that rejects abnormalities that will affect my blackness. With the way you speak, you're sort of an imposter, a washed out rejection of its original culture. Not really there, like a holographic illusion, as though your skin needs cleansing from an aesthetic intrusion. Though these strings are left marinating beneath my skin, I don't fight against my tongue, letting it stir before my brain can even catch up with the offensive creature. But warnings suggest its divisive nature. I have no right to sink into an accent that's embedded in a history of atrocities against our people. I've let the British lay claim to my identity, allowing it to conquer my accent, colonize my mouth, and enslave my tongue. Proving that my colour is my colour, but my innards are another, as though my skin is a mirage, assigned black at birth, but that's a job for me to maintain. As though the less urban phrases I use, the more melanin I'll lose. And every drop that seeps from my pores determines whether this coconut needs cracking. Open me up and investigate my interior, deliberate whether the structure is inferior, because my speech somehow denounces a shade that should be significantly sheerer. But I will not drown my tongue in a sea of slang which would reflect my younger tongue's solution to the problem. Forced its way to become a mutated version of itself. A deception that slung coagulated and discombobulated terminologies that raised eyebrows as they jerked their way out of my mouth. An inadequate host for the words to live in, so they escaped into the atmosphere before they could be stifled by its oppressors. The same words used to describe those who thought they could diminish my character, whose hatred grew stronger when their venom slid off my elusive exterior, as though their happiness lay in the destruction of solidarity rather than the acceptance of differences that would strengthen a community. But this misfired anger floods through our society. Reasons for it lay between a nature-nurture complexity. Regardless of this vanity, my tongue will never be ripped out. My mouth will never be sewn up, and I will never stop using my strength to spread compassion in an annoying, self-righteous sounding fashion. The ones that dig deeper will see that this voice is far from falsity. It's designed to make you glow. Designed to make you celebrate the differences you see, and even if I stand alone, a defiant vessel brandishing iron will, my tongue will be stirring on still. Breaking hearts, offending still, till time itself is drained from it and decides to lay it still.